I think it's time to go find some PCs to flip. Not necessarily a gaming PC, but just a regular computer. Buy low, sell high, and see if we can make some extra money. So I saw this while cruising on OfferUp for deals, this HP Pavilion for $10. And I see these all the time. They're usually the old Windows 7, crusty Inspiron Pavilion, Optiplex, whatever. But I noticed that the tag looked kind of new, so I looked up the part number, and it was still on Amazon for $229. So it must be fairly recent. Without looking too much further, I saw that it was only 5 miles away, so I hit the road. So we're on our way to pick up this HP Computer Pavilion A8 for $10, which seems pretty good for what it is. It's a quad-core AMD 6410, and it's kind of old, but for $10, I mean, what do you want if it works? The pictures looked really clean, so we're gonna go check it out. So here it is, the HP Pavilion for $10. Looks pretty modern, I would say, compared to the old computers we usually deal with. And I kind of wanted to do a few computer flips. I flip computers all the time, but I never really make videos about them. So as you saw, this one was $10. It was only 5 miles away, so I jumped on it. It had only been posted on OfferUp for an hour, and I messaged the guy and I said, are you available? He said, yeah. I said, I'll be right there. So I kind of jumped on it. If I had waited any longer, I'm sure I would have lost it. So let's just look at the specs real quick. Now when you say Pavilion, I say Walmart. So I can guarantee you this came from Walmart. We have what it says, a stylish tower, dual display, Windows 10, AMD quad-core A8, which I've never heard of, 8 gigabytes of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive, Radeon R5, integrated Bluetooth and wireless for $10. So before I drove over, I looked these up. They were about probably $299 back in the day. They're still on Amazon right now for $229. Currently the used rate is about $75-80, and I know nothing about this, so I did remove the screw. So let's take a look inside. When I talked to the guy, he said this was his grandmother's computer and she doesn't use it anymore. And it looks like, yeah, this is one of those. Of course, every time I try to make a video, a plane flies by. But anyway, so this is, I remember these kind of computers. So they kind of just became laptops inside of cases. So look at the motherboard. There's nothing there. It's like, what do you want to call that? That's the tiniest motherboard I've ever seen. So yeah, there's no PCI slots. The case had slots, but they're not accessible. It had power supply ability, but it's all blocked off. You can't even punch it out. Somehow or another, there's a 1 terabyte hard drive. Supposedly the A8 was, I guess, decent from the couple of videos I was listening to on the way here, but we'll see. Oh, there's a very big, it's a nice dust bunny there. So I don't know what, I'm I'm gonna probably just not touch this one. If it already has 8 gigabytes, all we have to do is kind of just clean it. Here's 8 gigs. But the plan is, this was $10. I'm going to immediately post it for $49, which is usually what I get for this type of computer. And the goal is to see how fast we can sell it. Hopefully within 1 week. And then, yeah, these tiny boards, they have this external power supply. Actually, the power supply is almost worth more than the computer because these are hard to find. So that goes in there. It does have a dual display, which is nice. USB 3.0. I'm kind of curious where the Wi-Fi is. Is it maybe this? Oh, there it is. Okay, so that would be a Wi-Fi. Let's see. A Wi-Fi and Bluetooth adapter. And then this goes there. Somewhere. Interesting. What I will do though, if somebody tries to lowball the price on this, I might just steal the wireless out of it. Because it's kind of nice to have a Bluetooth and a wireless adapter together. And then just put an old Wi-Fi card in there. Or maybe put 2 4-gig sticks here and then keep the 8. It's just nice to have the bigger sticks. But we're gonna dust it out. And then yeah, that's kind of the end of the video. This is just a quick thing, but I'll comment below what it actually sold for after. I'm pretty sure I can get $50 for this pretty quick. So, good luck, and we'll go find some more. So I wanted to give you an update on this bolder than ever HP Pavilion after I took it home. It seems like the hard drive doesn't work, and that's typical of these newer, cheaper ones. The hard drives die because there's no airflow. I've seen it many times. And so what I did was I put in a laptop hard drive instead, so that runs cooler, hopefully, and will last longer. And I have a bunch of them, so I can just get rid of one. And I installed Windows 10. Everything went smoothly. It actually operates pretty well. I'm not used to AMD processors. I think the newest one I've ever used was the A3 or A4. So that's when I saw A8, I was kind of interested because it sounded newer. But it runs pretty smooth. The laptop hard drive has 7,200 RPM. You know, it's still a hard drive, but you know, for this price, I can't put an SSD in it. But I wanted to, if you're still watching this, give you guys a couple of tips on flipping these type of computers. I always go with OEMs because, or pre-built as you would say, because when you build a computer, it's very hard to market the value. But when you buy a pre-built or OEM computer, it's very simple. You type in the model number, immediately you can see what they're going for on Amazon, eBay, whatever, and you can price it accordingly. Another thing is that the advantage of going OEM is that the Windows will actually activate itself from the computer, so you don't need the key. You know, if you build a computer, then you have to spend $20 on the key. That just adds to the cost. But that's why I'm not used to paying for Windows, because I always use OEMs or pre-builds. And the Windows just activates. I'm not still sure how that works. I think it gets it out of the BIOS or something, because there's no sticker on the computer. But whenever I use the brand name Dell, HP, OEM, Lenovo, it just activates, as long as it's not a really old one. And yeah, and plus they tend to be cheaper to buy. You tend to have either a bad hard drive or a bad power supply. And also when you're selling it, it's nice to say this is an HP, or this is a Dell, or this is this brand name. Same thing when you build a computer and there's no brand name on it, it doesn't kind of carry the same weight as, you know, what people are used to seeing at the stores. So what I decided to do was change the price to $60 because I did have to add the hard drive. I did have to go pick it up, and I think 50 is a little too cheap. I'll take 50 if it comes to it, but as I mentioned, the point of this video is to see how fast it will sell. And I think maybe I can sell it within a week, hopefully by this weekend. That would be awesome. And it's important, especially with desktops, that you sell them fast, because you don't want a bunch of these towers all over your house. You know, you can't just keep saving them forever. So even though it potentially could be worth almost $100, I'd rather sell it for $60 and just have it be gone. Also, it did come with the keyboard and mouse, the original HP ones, which helps. And I do have a monitor, so I'm posting it as $100 with the monitor and keyboard. And we'll see what happens.